Okay, I think I found a compromise. 2 chairs. I'm Mike Dimas, and this is Pinball Shenanigans. Okay, Gamatron, episode 11. I'd like to see if I can install the MPU tonight. Kind of sequentially going through the boards. We got the rectifier board up and running. We got the solenoid driver board up and running. Next will be MPU. But since I'm not getting the proper voltage at test point 1, I thought before I go ahead, I would go backwards. And so I did some more testing with the help of Corey Cook of London Pinball. And although everything tests fine component-wise, I'm still getting a low voltage on my test point 1. That should be 5.4 volts. I'm getting 3.6. And the only thing that makes sense from the schematics and our testing, and we've pretty much concluded that it's got to be one of these two guys. So where are the schematics for that? They're kind of weird components. I don't even really know what they're called, but I think I have the schematic pulled up here. So let's go to that. So, that particular power supply is only used in like 3 games. Valley Kiss, Future Spa, and Space Invaders. And the reason they used those particular boards is because those machines had some extra lamps that did some fun dancing around and light shows. Like on Kiss, can you picture behind the Kiss letters, there's some dancing lights. Same with Future Spa and Space Invaders, maybe for the infinity lights. So that's why they used that particular board. They only used it in those 3 machines. On the normal machines, they just use the 3 standard bridge rectifiers. On these boards, they use whatever the hell these are called. On the schematic, they're referred to as RP1 and RP2. So those are the 2 components on the top of my board. They combine to make 1 bridge rectifier, basically. So they're like half bridges. They combine 2 halves to make 1 full bridge. I have read that you can replace the 2 things with 1 actual standard 30 amp bridge rectifier, but I don't know that I'm going to try that. It requires some drilling and some jumpers and whatnot, but I for sure am getting good voltage coming out of the transformer. It's supposed to have 9.2. I'm getting like 10 point something. So I have concluded that I have to remove and test those things. So I have the board kind of sort of just out like this, and you can test them pretty much like bridges, and they do test fine, which is annoying, but I think I just have to remove them and see what happens. They do test, actually, you know what? I found this board. This is, I think, was given to me by my buddy Henry Mastinardi, shout out, who gave this to me from his old Kiss machine. These, whatever you call them, are obscure. Well, you can get them at Marco. They're like 15 US each. So, it's going to add up in a hurry with shipping and taxes, etc. But R712E, that's what I need if those test bad. So they do test differently on this board than they do. Like, I get a reading. You hold one leg to here, or one lead to here and one to here. And then you do that on this side. On the board in the machine, I get a reading of like 0.5, 0.5. But on this, I get 0.5 and then open. And then if I reverse it, I get 0.5 and then open. So they do test differently. I don't know what it all means, but you know, I have a couple of these if I need to try and replace one or both. I'm not exactly looking forward to it. Looks like a pain in the butt, but I want to get my voltage proper, so 'tis a necessary evil. So this is the band-aid I'm going to tear off before I do the more fun MPU stuff. So I'm going to hack away at this for a bit. I'll report back. Okay, so I removed the transformer assembly from the machine, and then I removed one of these things from the board. It wasn't that bad. Just got to remove a couple screws and nuts in the heat sink. And then I did the same on Henry's board. And here is the one that came from his. So I found some interesting results. I will show you. Okay, so I don't really know how to test these. I just do every possible combination and kind of just figure it out. So let's start with the good one here. We'll put black here and red here. We get a reading of 549. If I go over here though, I get nothing. You get nothing when you do that. Nothing when you do that. But then you switch the leads. So this should be nothing. But on this side, I get 0.54. And over here, it's good reading. So I do get something different here. Get the good reading on this, but I get nothing on that. So I'm starting to think that this guy is in fact bad. So the only way to find out really is to install this guy and then retest voltages. So I'm going to do that. Okay, I think I had a successful surgery. This is the new guy here. And just note to self, if I have to replace that one too, when bending the leg back over, the back side, because you know, you have to straighten them out. To remove them, these legs are bent over. So when I re-bent it back down, I almost thought it broke. So that would have sucked. So keep that in mind if you ever run into this issue. But now for the test. Let's plug this in. Turn it on. And pray. Okay, DC voltage. Got my ground here. All right, what do you think? Is it gonna work? What's the over-under on this? Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, what? Look at that, 7.8. Seems kind of high. But it ain't low. So I think we have success. Like, is 7.8 good though? I mean, we're supposed to be a 5.4. But I guess it's not under load, right? So I'm going to call that a success. And I will follow up on my post on Pinball Repair Help Group. Let them know what I did. And just double check that that voltage is okay, which I am pretty sure it is. So sweet, we don't have to deal with the other guy. And now I've got to remember to put my screws back in my bridges, and then we can move on to the MPU. Okay, time to install the MPU. Just kidding. I was just looking at this connector. And look at that, one pin there's coming up. Oh, that looks like that was actually repinned. But not very well. So I think I need to repin this connector. Just, wow, look at this red wire. That is burnt. Maybe cut off a little bit of the old crappy wire. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of play here, so I can maybe afford an 1/8 off of each wire, but that's about it. But yeah, I think I can't leave that as is. Okay, progress is being made. I'll show you the difference here. The right side, starting from this orange wire, they're all done. You can see how shiny the pins are. And you can see how there's not wire strands hanging out. Like on this side, far left here, you can see some wire. Red, yellow, you can see some wire. And red terminal is pooched, it's just falling out of the connector. See, look, they have wire past the entire terminal. That terminal is supposed to be crimped onto the insulation. So also, these were not trifuricon terminals, so they're getting a multi-beneficial treatment here. So almost halfway there. Okay, I just went and had a Panzerotti break. I'm back and I finished the job here. That red one looks like it wants to be pushed down just a tiny bit more, maybe. But repin 2025, much better. I don't even know that I'll be able to stick this on one-handed, but I definitely lost a little bit of my slack here. So I'll plug that in, and then we're going to stick in an MPU, maybe stick in a Playfield. I don't know. We're just flying by the seat of my pants here, and things are starting to happen. Okay, the inspector's calling. Hold on. Oh, she's inspecting the second Gamatron. Is it okay? What do you think, Ellie? Yeah, I know it's not in the greatest condition. Are you taking over my chair again? Someone said in the comments that this is Ellie Shenanigans. And I would say it sure is. You just do your thing. Alright. Go check out the desk and all that. Yeah, that transistor's bad. Or whatever the hell it's called. But anyway, okay, so definitely needed like 2 hands to force this connector on because it is snug with all these new connectors, and you gotta kind of like, sometimes this one's also really snug because it's repinned. See that? You know what? Let's just leave it on there. But sometimes if it's so snug, kind of forces the wire back out a bit. So you, just to be safe, push these wires in after you've connected it. I do that from time to time. There we go. So I had to like remove my zip tie or wire tie, whatever you call it. It's just a little tight. So I just added some zip ties and that'll suffice. I can leave it like that, I think. I don't know. I just like there to be a little bit of slack. So anyway, that's done. I'm gonna snip those off and then grab this Weebly MPU. Right, Ellie? Yeah. But the Weebly MPU is right here. What do you think of this, Ellie? You want to change the dip switch settings for me? Oh, don't step on these. They could be sharp. You might not like that. Let's put that there where maybe you're less likely to stand and step on it. Okay, so yeah, we gotta change some dip switch settings, and check my... Okay. Let's not step on that board. That was my fault. I'll put it up here. There we go. Okay. Change some dip switch settings. Check the jumpers. Make sure they're on stern and not bally. And check the standoffs. Make sure the old ones are okay. If not, we'll install new ones. Can you get your butt out of my face, please? Sometimes you're the inspector, sometimes you're the helper. I know. Okay. So that's the plan. Once Ellie gets off my lap. Okay, I found a compromise. We each get a chair. All right. So, Weebly board, manual, and here's our settings. So, Flight 2000, we could do stock ROM with no free play, but I'm going to go with the free play. And that means our dip switches need to be on, off, on, off, off, on, out. Wait, hold on, that's too many dip switches. That's the clock jumpers. So, on, off, on. Oh, Ellie's coming back to my lap. Oh, no, she's heading out. Okay. Okay, where are we? Game selection. On, off, on. Okay, and then off, on. Off, on. I think I had this in my Viper before, so it's probably set to that. So on, off, on. These are so hard to see. On, off, on. Off, on. Okay. As for the jumpers, CPU clock jumpers, B1 and S1. We want S1 in, so that is over here. See that S1? The jumper's already on that. It's got to be on those two pins there, represented by that little triangle. Otherwise, if you want Bally-1735 or Stern MPU 100, you move the jumper down to this position. So that's good. And then, what's this all about? All off is Bally and MPU 100. All on / in is MPU 200. That's what we're doing. So we want all on. Which looks like they are. Yep. Okay, so our Weebly board is set. All right, I got the MPU installed. Got that connector installed, that connector installed. And then I installed this guy on the solenoid driver. Oh, I forgot to clip these guys off. Where's my clippers? So I'm going to power this thing on and see what happens. Might not be a whole lot of anything. You know what I should do is throw in at least a bulb or two, because there are 0 in the back box, and it'd be nice to know if we have life back there. So let's install a few bulbs. I have no idea if these bulbs are even good, but I figure 1 out of 4 should be okay. If I can find the one I dropped. So, are we going to get back box lights? Are we going to get displays? This display is disconnected. I'll leave that disconnected for now. And see what happens. Okay. Plug this guy back in. All right. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think that means we're booted up. And I'm cheating a little bit, and I can kind of see some display activity. See what we got. Wow. We got a couple displays. No bulbs, though. And the displays are just kind of locked on. So I feel like we're moving in the right direction. So maybe maybe I need the lamp driver board installed. No, that wouldn't help. That wouldn't matter for general illumination, right? And this, I should be careful that it's not grounding out to anything. Oh, also, this could be something to do with the back box lights. What if I try and make contact here? Anything happen? Don't think so. Okay, let's install a lamp driver board. Okay, so my note says that this lamp driver is from Supersonic and is okay, but that is not true because this guy has a broken leg. I don't know if it's used for sure or not, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and replace that before I install this. Alright, there we go. This is an MCR 105, or maybe 106, I couldn't really see. And I think I got it facing the right way. Looks different than the others, but it should work. So we can find out pretty easily what Q56 lights up, and if it's not lighting up, then I did something wrong, but I think it should be good. Okay, lamp driver is installed, as well as those two connectors. And then I installed this other display just to see what would happen. And let's turn it on and see if anything different happens. Wait for the MPU to boot up. And, ooh, I see some glow. Okay, a little bit of life on that display. But no back box lights. Okay. I do feel like... Ooh. Is that cut right here? What is missing here? There should be... Okay, this is probably disconnected on purpose. What are those lights? I don't know. Why would you disconnect those? And some wire was in here. And... there's like... yeah, it doesn't look like there's continuity for the GI back box lighting. Another, okay, so these guys were in that clip there. Yeah, so this probably part of the equation. Anyway, I think maybe we could plug in some of this stuff and see what happens. Also, I do have an SB300 soundboard. That is part of the equation when not using the Gamatron board. It says original Viper soundboard was working fine in Viper, maybe had some speaker buzz. So I might have to install some standoffs or something to hook this board up. but I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't really care about sound at the moment. I want everything else. That's kind of later down the line, and I don't really feel like messing with standoffs right now. So where does this all go? So that goes here. So I don't know, should I just throw in the Playfield and start connecting more things? Sure, why not? Let's just keep plugging away. All right, time to install the Playfield. This is a bit of a momentous occasion, so I think I have to record it. Obviously it'll be in time lapse because it's going to take me a minute or two, but it'll be very nice to get this space back too, so that'll be an added bonus. Okay, I changed my mind. I think because I have enough wire here, I can actually just install the Playfield and keep it on the rotisserie just in case I need to deal with stuff rotisserie wise. I mean, like, I can lift up this Playfield pretty high and gain access to most of it pretty comfortably, but I'm going to do this because I can. So I'm just going to start connecting stuff, and then we're going to turn this on and see what happens. Alright, Playfield is technically connected. It's definitely a bit of a mess because this connector says J2 solenoid driver unit, which means I guess this guy is not used. These 4 wires, A, B, C, D, connect to these 4 wires, and since that's going into the solenoid driver, I'm assuming these are for solenoids, but I could be wrong. I could check the schematics and see. So yeah, this is unused. This would be for the other kind of power supply that Bally used. Also, got some wires coming off this connector. So there's a lamp driver, new lamp driver connector here. Here's the old one. So I guess that's not used. So maybe these wires here potentially connect to these wires there. And then this is for the Gamatron board, and these 2 connectors are for the Gamatron board, which we're not using. And yeah, so I don't know what the F is going to happen, if anything at all, but we're going to turn it on and find out. So let's just tear off the band-aid in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, general illumination. That's kind of exciting. Oh wait, hold on. Could we have a track mode perhaps? Hey, solenoids are firing. The ball walker mech is looking for balls. That's pretty cool. Displays are still doing stupid things. So this machine wants to see 3 balls, and maybe then it will go into a track mode. Oh wait, it gave up. Holy shit, we have a track mode, and it looks fucking awesome. There are some lights out. Lots of lights out. But, oh, display number 2 is kind of showing high score to date. And we got some flickerage. I got Siegecraft or generic LED adapters coming, so don't worry. Man, A lot of lights not working. Like half of them. This drop target bank did not reset. Well, let's throw in some balls. And just try and start a game. You think that would actually happen? Oh, remember I gotta solder this onto the diagnostic switch. So it's technically on free play. Shall we? Whoa. Wow. Okay. Let's plunge the ball into play. It was very anticlimactic. That's good. Oh, look at that. We got points. 3,000, 5,000, 3,000. Okay, let's try this pop bumper. Wow. Hey, and the drop targets popped up. They're scoring. They're resetting. What about slings? Wow. Spinner. That is scoring. What about these guys? I never did rebuild these drop targets. They're scoring. Okay, ready? This is a big one. Sweet. Wow, that's violent. Spinner. That's scoring. What about this? What happens? Nothing. Okay. Why nothing? Oh, because I need to install this switch. Let's hit it. Boom. And ball kicks out. Let's try that again. And boom, Ellie. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to scare you. This is exciting stuff. Yeah, I know, I'm excited too. And ball kicks out. Ooh, nice leap. And can we get a multi-ball? Go in there, you go in there. You go in here. Oops. You go out here. Okay, so no, we gotta like lock balls by doing things. Wow, that's violent. It's gonna like pop right off the friggin' rotisserie. Anyway, this is, how about that? Oh, nice, that slingshot works too. Ooh, sling to the drop. Oh, what about flippers? Let's try some flippers. Okay, ready? Ooh. Maybe that's the solenoid wiring I gotta do. Okay. Well, I'd say that's way better of a start than I thought it was going to be, so I guess I will maybe work on these wires, connect those, and see if that gives us flippers. Okay, just been sitting here contemplating, staring at success here to some degree. And I think my game plan is going to be to reinstall that broken wire for the diagnostic tests and maybe run through diagnostics. I really should connect those 4 wires though. Kevin had to disconnect these. They were hardwired, so they definitely do something. So maybe I'll do, it'd be nice if I could turn that into a connector and not have to hardwire it. So I'm gonna sort that out and I'll be back. Okay, I soldered this back up and threw the balls in the trough so that the ball walker ain't looking for the balls for 5 minutes. And let's power this on, run a couple tests, and then I actually think I'm gonna wrap it up. Starting to run out of gas here. I'm yawning away. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? So maybe only 2 lights out actually. That ain't so bad there. I thought there was more out there. Okay, let's hit the button and see if anything happens. Does it show the old high score to date? Oh, look at that. Both displays are working okay now. And the bottom one, oh, it's just missing 2 digits. That's repairable. Actually, I'm not going to be using these, but it's good to have spares. 6-digit spares. All right, let's see what happens if we do this. Nothing is happening. Oh, no. No. I'm just mashing on it, and so I don't know if that's a wiring thing or a button thing, but I guess we could jumper the switch. Will help to diagnose. It's not the best tool for the job here, and nothing does appear to be happening. So, not sure what to make of that. I think it's going to be a very steep uphill battle from here on in. This was probably the easiest part of the whole process. So, there's probably going to be a few more episodes, like 50. But I am determined and stubborn, and I am going to fight tooth and nail until I get this thing to function as it should. If it's the last thing I do, called it, stamped it, no erases. And, you know, there's a lot of great help out there on Pinside, Pinball Repair Help Group. People that have scratch-built Gamatrons using the same Weebly / Stern 300 soundboard combo. So I'll make it happen one way or another. But I'd say that is a pretty good notch in the progress for tonight. So that was pretty sweet. We'll see you guys next time.